Hello, good evening. You're watching RTD's English News. The top stories are concerning Africa-China summit, meeting of Chinese president with 10 head of states, including President Gili. In India's flood ravaged Chennai city.
Those were the top stories. Welcome to this RTD's English News. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, is participating next to its Chinese counterpart, Mr. Jinping, and 50 other head of state and government of Africa at the summit of a forum on cooperation between China and Africa, which has opened its work this Friday morning in the South African city of Johannesburg. Let's listen to this report. The China-African Summit is dedicated to the beginning of a more sustained rate in the trade between the two parties, the diversification of partners from the technology transfer concept are the spur of a revival which now aspire China and the countries of Africa and their collaboration. Djibouti returns in this encounter with the image of African nation that has taken advantage of win-win relationship between the Middle Kingdom and the countries of Africa. Under the leadership of the head of state, our country has effectively achieved the feat of taking advantage of the availability of China toward the African country in a context such as these great economic powers helps our principal goals, the acquisition of a sustainable development. The Republic of Djibouti has mostly succeeded brilliantly to endorse with China win-win partnership around the construction of a series of development infrastructure able to definitely give its natural vocation redistribution platform for economic and trade between different geographical and cultural orders to the world. The financial and technological partnership between China and Djibouti around the construction of a series of high-end airports to international standards, electrics, railways and modern highways perfectly illustrate the successful character and nature mutually beneficial Djibouti-China relation. The expansion of a China-Djibouti cooperation in the field of education and training of a human resource is also proof of the will of both countries to register their partnership over time. The privilege of NATO on China-Djibouti relation is not foreign to the seniority of bands of friendship and cooperation between the two countries and the two people. China is part of the friendly countries that opened early in this year following the acquisition of our independence and embassy in Djibouti. The two nations have expanded their cooperation, friendship and partnership under the sign of mutual aid and an instruction into the internal affairs of the others. The summit of the Forum on Cooperation between China and Africa combines the substantive issues of insert a ceremonial dimension. It begins work by an reunion of a head of state around a welcome drink. He immortalized the friendship and atmosphere through a family photo of an African Chinese leader attending the forum. A large delegation including the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mr. Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, and Communication Minister, Head of Post of Telecommunication, Mr. Ali Hassan Bahdon, accompanies the President of the Republic as part of this movement working in Johannesburg.
The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, has had yesterday afternoon talks with its Chinese counterpart, Mr. Xi Jinping. This bilateral meeting was held in conjunction with the work of the two-day summit of the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, which takes place in Johannesburg, South Africa. The meeting took place in the presence of delegations accompanying the two presidents. The discussions between the Djiboutian and Chinese president have focused on the relations of friendship and cooperation between the two countries and the two peoples, as well as the ways and means to promote and further develop these already privileged ties. The status of the partnership that the two countries maintain around several important projects, including the construction of a series of important ports, airports, and that meet international standards, as well as electrical railroad and modern roads in Djibouti, has been mentioned in the course of this meeting.
Indeed, the interviewer then extended to the identification of new poles of collaboration between the two countries and the two people, the establishment of a canvas of achievement to the system of video surveillance camera that China installed with a view to increase the security of a sensitive structure of Djibouti has also been addressed in the course of this meeting. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mr. Mohammed Ali Yusuf, and the Minister of Communication in charge of Post and Telecommunication, Mr. Ali Hassan Bahdon, took part in the hearing between the President Gele and his Chinese counterpart.
Chinese President Xi Jinping and South African President Zuma will co-chair this summit with the attendance of the heads of states and government and representatives of 50 African countries and President of the AU Commission. As the first FOCAC summit taking place on the African continent, it is destined to be a historic grand event to consolidate solidarity and cooperation between China and Africa. Since the founding of the FOCAC 15 years ago, China-Africa cooperation has yielded more and more fruitful results. As a fine example of South-South cooperation, the forum now stands as an important platform for China-Africa collective dialogue and practical cooperation, as well as a banner guiding the development of China-Africa relations. FOCAC has become a resounding brand for China-Africa solidarity and cooperation and a model for leading international cooperation. In this regard, China-Africa cooperation has been constantly enriched, covering broader areas with more diversified participants.
Indeed, the leader will focus on helping the African countries build the three systems of industrialization, food security, and public health prevention and control, so as to work out these three major problems of employment and food health. And leaders will also put China and African particular cooperation to upgrade from general trade to production capacity cooperation, from project contracting the investment and management, and from assistance to the independence development in the effort to achieve common development and share prosperity of the two sides. On the national news, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Mergele, responded yesterday to the thousands of demonstrators who came out in mass since a month in order to express to him their pride to see the president on the reins of power and the incentive of a representative for the electoral date of 2016. The president has stated quite unequivocally that the fault to the people has much more than the country passes through a turning point crucial to its economic growth and its development. In spite of these denials of imbetter opponent under the external influence, I accept to serve once again my country and my people. I accept for the supreme interest of the nation, said the President Gele. The President has also indicated that he has spared no effort to work toward the development of the country, of social progress, peace and stability, and it is since the first day he has been invested this. It is in this context that we have collected this afternoon the reaction of the Djiboutian population and the declaration of President Gele. Let's listen to him.
As for the summit on the climate, the COP21, that is being held in Paris still continues. After the meeting of the world leaders, including the President of the Republic of Djibouti, Mr. Ismail Mergele, the work of this important summit for the future of the world is taking place at the level of experts and ministers. The Djiboutian delegation, composed of the Minister of Environment and the Secretary for Housing, held an informal meeting on the strategy of Djibouti to fight effectively against climate change in the Republic of Djibouti. This meeting was conducted in the presence of the ambassador of Djibouti in Paris, as well as representatives of the various ministries. By elsewhere at this meeting, a presentation has been made on the system of accelerated growth and the promotion of employment, which has the goal of promoting the development and employment.
His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Ali Kamil, extraordinary and plenipotentiary ambassador of the Republic of Djibouti in the Russian Federation, has presented this Friday, December 4, his letters of credence to the Secretary of State of the Republic of Kazakhstan, Mr. Gulshara, and this is its quality of a new extraordinary and plenipotentiary ambassador of the Republic of Djibouti credit in the Republic of Kazakhstan with the President in Moscow. During this official ceremony for the presentation of a credential letter, the new ambassador has through the Secretary of State transmitted to the head of state of Kazakhstan, His Excellency Mr. Nur Sultan, have warm greeting of his Djiboutian counterparts, His Excellency Ismail Margele. For his part, the Secretary of State of the Republic of Kazakhstan has asked the new ambassador to convey the best greeting of his president to his Djiboutian counterpart, while wishing the new ambassador his best wishes for success to the accomplishment of his high diplomatic mission.
His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Ali Kamil has not failed to inform the authorities of Kazakhstan the economic progress achieved by our country in the recent years, as well as to the existence of real investment opportunities in Djibouti for the Kazakh businessmen, and in particular the access to the common market of Comesa, which represents more than 400 million consumers. In conclusion, the two parties have welcomed the convergence of point of views on the need to place the peace and security as primary hub, allowing to evolve toward the prosperity and sustainable economic development. The ambassador has also sent his congratulations to the President of the Republic, who has agreed to represent for a new mandate 2016.
The City Hall and the Coming of Belbela have organized a ceremony thanking the Belbela Council of Neighborhoods. The ceremony has seen the participation of the Mayor of the city, Hussein Abdullahi Qayat, the President of a municipality, Yusuf Hassan Nuhu, as well as the elect representative of the various neighborhoods in Belbela. The Council of Neighborhood is composed of men and women gathered in the objective to instill within the inhabitants the civic and responsibilities that as citizens will have. Belbela, a popular neighborhood with only 1/3 of the population, could be triple in population in the next 10 years, and for this the coming needs assistance of the City Hall to educate its people on the issues such as the social cohesion, the spirit of friendship and good agreement between the fellow inhabitants. The Council of Neighborhood deliver in this sense a certificate of recognition for their act and gesture. The nation recognize your demonstration work group and your dedication to well-being of your fellow citizens. This is what the President of Belbela Commune said by also welcoming the exceptional work and without reminding carried out by these men and women.
For its part, the mayor of the capital, Hussein Abdullahi Qayat, has declared that it is the duty of the Council of Neighborhoods to pass as the grievance of the neighborhood's inhabitants. The mayor of the city has welcomed the considerable work that had been done by the Council of Neighborhoods at the rally of November the 1st to ask the head of state a new mandate 2016. The inhabitants of Belbela came out in May loudly claiming the President of the Republic for a new mandate, an unprecedented act in the story of our country.
A training workshop on the improvement of information and communication integration of technology in teaching and mathematics assessment and high schools was held this week at the Crippen. The inspector of the Educational Counselor, as well as the Editorial Commission and mathematics teacher have participated in this workshop facilitated by a French expert, Mr. George, inspector of mathematics and academic of Grenoble. The participants worked on a support program. Indeed, a series of important issues were included in the training menu. To start with the analysis of place of CTBT in the region of the high school, the study of digital manual of Liberia, literature grade, the protocol of the test practice of the scientific exam, as well as the place of the written test of baccalaureate grade exam. More generally, the experts from mathematics have gave a series of lectures on issues such as the establishment of the evaluation in the course of the year, but also in the written test and the protocol of the scientific baccalaureate.
Like the rest of the World Day of Persons with Disabilities has been celebrated yesterday morning in the Al Sabia region. The commemoration ceremony, which is held at the Regional Council of the city, has seen the participation of the Prefect of the region, Mr. Muhammad Wabir Asowe, the President of the Regional Council, Mr. Omar Ahmed Wais, officials of several representative associations, as well as persons with disabilities. Note that this day of commemoration began by a march dedicated to the commemoration of the World Day of Persons with Disabilities. The objective of this day is in order to push forward the integration and access to the economic and social political life of persons with disabilities. The International Day of Disabled Persons was proclaimed in 1992 by the United Nations to the date of the December 3rd. This World Day is also the ideal opportunity to reaffirm some of the basic principles often forgotten, such as all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. The commemoration of the International Day of Persons with Disabilities is the opportunity to address social exclusions suffered by these people, with the emphasis on the promotion of accessibility and the need to eliminate all the obstacles they face in the society.
Yubuki Association has organized yesterday in Obok the official launching ceremony of the Obok Beaches Cleaning Project. The ceremony has been presided by the president of the association, Ms. Hasna Ali Hamad, within the presence of the Obok Regional Council President, Mr. Ali Hamad, the Prefect Assistants, Mr. Amin Shamsan Saleh. The ceremony saw the participation of several local officials, the customary chief representative of Women's Association and young people, as well as the official international agencies involved in the region of Obok in their respective intervention. Ms. Hasna Ali Muhammad and the President of the Regional Council have highlighted the importance of this project, which deals the protection of the coastline in a state of a total degradation, and its backup through various actions of information and mobilization, as well as the launching of the training activities to the benefit of the management committees of the coastline. These activities are in the framework and the microfinancing program found for the Global Environment Facility.
Moving on to the international scene, in India, severe flooding in Chennai again proves that India's cities are unprepared for extreme weather events like rains, drought, and cyclonic storms, which are becoming more frequent. In instance, many parts of India suffer flooding every year during the annual monsoon rains from June to September. For more details in this report.
Rescue operations continue in inundated southern India on Friday after the worst flooding decades stranded tens of thousands of people. At least 269 people have been killed because of the flooding in Tamil Nadu state in recent days, with more than 1,000 critical injured. Speaking in Parliament, Interior Minister described the situation as the unprecedented calamity. Authorities were trying to reach as water level in the main river Adyar and Kumbh began receding in the cities of Chennai. The government has set up 97 relief camps that are currently providing food and shelter to an estimated 62,000 people. The Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who did an aerial survey of the devastation, announced $150 million in federal aid to carry out a relief operation in the flooding affected area of the city. 40% of the area's telephone lines were knocked down by flood and power connection had to be disconnected for safety reasons, the minister said. The flood have cut off more than 3 million people from basic services and hampered rescue effort by the army, which has so far evacuated 18,000 people from rooftop and outlying villages. Civilians volunteer to help those stranded or in need of urgent medical help. People use social media platforms such as Facebook and Twitter to disseminate important information.
In the fight against the Islamic State after Great Britain, the German parliament has voted to support the coalition conducting airstrike against the ISIL in Syria. Let's listen to this comment.
The parliament authorized Merkel government to deploy 1,200 troops and reconnaissance jets to support anti-ISIL fight. Germany parliament has approved Chancellor Angela Merkel's plan to join the military mission in Syria, aimed at defeating the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant. Germany will send 6 Tornado reconnaissance jets and are refueling aircraft to back up the international anti-ISIL coalition, but its military will not conduct airstrike. The Bundestag, the lower house of parliament, voted for the mandate by about an overwhelming majority of 444 votes in favor and 146 against. 7 lawmakers abstained. The Bundestag had to vote or any extension to the mission. The 142 million year-long mission also involved deploying up to 1,200 military personnel as well as a frigate to support the French aircraft carrier Charles de Gaulle, which Paris has dispatched to the region. The international coalition has stepped up its campaign against the group in the wake of the last month's deadly terrorist attack in Paris. The Islamic State claimed responsibility for the massacre in which 130 people were killed.
That's it for tonight's news. Thank you for your attention and have a wonderful evening.